So I've got in a Genesis Equilibrium with a stuck D to carbon seat post. Goes down to almost near the bottle case. There's a lot of there's a lot in the frame. So I'll just put a threaded bar in so when I clamp up, basically it doesn't crush the carbon, doesn't basically cause it to split as it's crushing, as it's clamping. Get my words out, because I've got the bar in, so it's holding the bar nice and tight. That's all solid. We've got just enough room to get the seat post puller on as well. So I'm now going to remove the cranks, remove the bottom bracket. Now then, the bottom bracket's out. Bottom bracket's out. I've had another look down the tube, and basically the seat post goes in to just above where the bottle cage bolt is. Now on these, they're not riv nuts; they're actually welded in or brazed. I'm guessing probably welded on this. They're welded in, so I believe that around this part of the tube, it's probably just nipped in a touch due to the heat caused when putting these in for the bottle cages. Therefore, it's nipping the bottom of the post. So I'm hoping once we get a bit of force on the seat post with the jig, which I'll get out in a minute. Right, so bottom bracket mounted. Now for the clamp. This bit's a bit boring, I'm afraid, but it'll soon be time to see if it comes out. Right, that's that one. Snip these up. That's that one. That's that one. Right. Grab some goggles. No one likes carbon in their eyes. Right. Let's just get this in position. Fairly central. And tapping this when it's under load to try and shock release it doesn't work with carbon, I've found. So it's purely just the force of pulling it out. So all we can do is put some load on it and see what happens. I'm hoping it comes out fairly easy. As I say, if it is just nipped up where it's been welded there, the tubing's just nipped in a touch, but we'll see. Let's just put some load on it. Oh, there we go. It's a nice easy one for once. Still takes ages to put it on, so get this going now. See, it's coming out lovely. So my theory was right. It's basically been pushed down, and also if you set them down fairly low and they kind of nip on anything, with your weight, you can have the best clamp in the world, to be honest, on a push bike. It will just sink down a fraction and then just really nip it tight. So this now, I can just about get out my hand. So right, so that's the seat post out. As I said there, you can see the kind of bit of rust on the carbon post. I've got to try and rescue my bar out of there, which might be fun. I'm hoping once I release the shaft clamps, it'll kind of wind out. I did put a couple of flats on there, so 15mm spanner. I'm hoping I'll be able to unwind it. Otherwise, I'll have to either bash it out or maybe split the carbon to then pull it out. But hopefully that's nice and easy. Anyway, it's not the end of the world if not. It's going to be hard to kind of show you. Just down there, you can see it's kind of rust and a bit of debris. So what I'll do is, in previous videos I've shown, I'm going to run I'll run a reamer down, just kind of clean it up, really get that nice and tidy inside. I would usually run a honing tool down, but I got a bit over enthusiastic with my old honing tool. And now I've only got this big one, so that isn't going to fit down there. So I might have to go a bit old school and put a screwdriver in a drill with some sandpaper on it or something along those lines. But we'll see how it cleans up down there anyway. So just for reference, it's not too bad, to be honest. I think it was nipped more than kind of rusted or corroded in. So you can see there's a bit of kind of, see the torch there's a bit of kind of powder here and things, but we'll get that tight. Also, just in a side note, everyone takes a piss out of me when they see it hanging up on the wall, but $8.99 off eBay. Pretty sure it was $8.99. Definitely wasn't more than tenner. But a halo light, mostly seen on makeup tutorial videos, which I haven't done yet. They're so handy in a workshop where it's fairly dark. I mean, you can have it set up anywhere. I also use it for kind of sliding underneath a car as well if I'm working on it. And it's got loads of different functions, kind of remote control. It's just plugged into the computer, so or laptop. Yeah, great purchase. Right, I've had a bit of a tidy up. Now I've got to get the shaft clamps off the seat post, which is always fun. One's come free. There's the other one. See the kind of damage the clamps do on an alloy. On an alloy post they really bite in as well. So the seat post I never recommend using. This one's totally dead anyway. The customer previously had a go somehow and has totally wrecked all the clamp and head anyway. So yeah, it was dead before I started. But yeah, just try and get this kind of bar out now. It's not the end of the world if I have to bin it, but I'd rather reuse it if I can. So I put some slots on there which are now 15mm, but oh yeah, it's not too bad actually. Now the clamps are off. It's in. I put it in fairly far, not all the way, just in case I had to lock the seat post off and try some other long-winded method. But right, that's that out, so I can reuse that again. Seat post, unfortunately, is fit for the bin, unless anyone can think of an idea for a bit of carbon tubing, handbrake handle maybe, or something cool. I don't know. It's going in the bin or back to the customer. Right. So just take you off there. Right, so tidying up now. Put my shaft clamps back there. I'm a bit of a neat freak. Everything has to be where it belongs. If not, I start having a nervous breakdown. Right, yeah. So now, don't know where the bike's gone. Down here. We'll put the bottom bracket in. I might just run a facing tool over that just to tidy it up for him. Get the bottom bracket fit, cranks back on. Just torquing these cups up to 40 Newton meters. Put plenty of anti-seize grease in here as well. These bikes, these old Genesis bikes, predominantly get used as winter bikes. So you can put loads of anti-seize grease in. And always torque things up when you can. Right, let's get these cranks fitted now. I'll just give it a tap with a really soft rubber mallet just to make sure the grease is kind of pushed out of the way and the crank's kind of all the way in where it should be. Make sure all these kind of seals are intact and still there. If not, replace those. A little bit of grease on the surfaces. Open the preload cap. With these, a lot of people overdo the tension. It is literally there just to snug up the crank. It's literally just 2 fingers till it kind of bites. usually back it off and just do it again. Yeah, just to the bites, that's enough. You don't crank it up. If you have one of these kind of tarty kind of Allen key ones on a Shimano crank, again, you don't need to really be doing it up very tight at all. I always do these to about 13 Newton meters. I've always done that, never had any issues. I think the recommendation is between 12 and 14, so we're kind of in the middle anyway. I could be wrong with that though. I've just always done them ever since Holotech 2 came out to 13 Newton meters. Oh, here we go, 12 to 14, yeah, so I'm bang in the middle there. Always just go around them twice. All right, they're snugged up, that's that done. Now let's clean the seat tube. Right, now then, just going to clean the seat tube out. I've just kind of just run a rag down there basically just to soak up any of the old oil. So now I'm going to run this ream down. For anyone that doesn't know what a reamer is, these ones are adjustable. You basically undo one end and you move the whole thing down, and there's kind of guided slots which are tapered, so as it goes down it gets wider, so you have to kind of fine tune the size you need, like width, and then get it to go down. In hindsight, I should have been doing this before I fitted the bottom bracket, but it looks really clean. I don't think there's going to be much to take off. I'm not really looking to take off any material. It's just any little burrs. Because it's a carbon post, I don't think it would have damaged any of the tube, to be honest. This is mainly to any little burrs which are sticking out, any nasty sharp edges, and also predominantly to get any kind of rust and sludge off. So it's a cleaner tube the new seat post is going into. I'm going to leave the customer to supply his own post and seat clamp. He does most of his own work, so he can sort that out. I'll just get this prepped, ready to go. So I absolutely dose that in oil. I've already set this up to the kind of right amount. Just kind of twist it as we're going down. It's quite free. There's a bit of a tight spot there. Go down a bit further. You kind of feel it cutting kind of rust off, and hear it as well. It's not gone down mega far. It's kind of gone down about as far as the seat post was. So let's pull this out now. It's quite free at the top. I don't really want to take any material off there. And you can see here, hopefully, that it's just pulled a load of rust and just grime off, basically. So I'll get that cleaned up later, put back on the shelf. One good thing, if you're a cycle shop and or a cycle workshop and you're watching this, these reamers, they are a bit of money, but they're so handy for things like this. Really, you only need 3 sizes in the cycle world to cover kind of most bases. I do have also in here loads more, so I've got kind of narrower ones. I've had to do the inside of fork steer tubes before, where people have kind of really hammered in staff angled nuts kind of sideways and other various things just to kind of neaten it up inside. So they're there as and when I need them, but predominantly I use these 3. The silver ones I just showed you were kind of, I can't remember, they're just like an engineering brand of some sort. They were fairly expensive, but these ones, I think they're Cyclone or Cyclo. Might be, I can't remember now. I've had them ages. There's no markings on them. They're pretty decent quality anyway. And then the handle as well, which I've got. So got loads of various things like this. They're all really handy when you need them, but just build them up over time, I guess. Yeah. So I will just run a kind of cloth down here now just to tidy it up. I won't flush it all out because, to be honest, it wasn't actually that dirty inside. It was just a bit of kind of residue, really, and a tiny bit of rust, which we've got out with the reamer. So, yeah, it doesn't need to be flooded out and kind of really cleaned inside. So there we have it. Chain set's on, torqued up. Seat post is all clean, ready for the new seat post. Yeah, customer's just got to put his pedals on, seat post, clamp and seat, and away he goes. Another Genesis safe from the scrap heap. These are, if you've never had one of these and you don't know about them, for the money they're absolutely incredible. They've been out for ages now. I remember when they first come out, but just a decent quality steel frame, Reynolds tubing. I think the main tubes anyway. Make a great winter bike or just a comfortable bike in general, just to ride around on. Quality wise as well, I don't think I've ever seen a broken one. I've had quite a few with seat posts come in, which are seized in, but half the time that's either the seat post has been put in too far or it's been fitted without any grease or not regularly kind of pulled out. My recommendations for pulling a seat post out and just giving it a bit of a clean up and then some anti-seize or carbon paste is sounds a bit excessive. Every 3 months if you want to be totally safe, but every 6 months I'd say is a kind of minimum. Or if you take your bike in to be serviced, obviously every shop's different. Services, I hate the word service, it can mean kind of almost strip and rebuild, or it can mean just a quick tune up. So depending where you go, but just ask them if they're going to service it, or if they're going to do anything really, just to pull your seat post out, give it a clean, and re-grease it. Dropper seat posts are becoming the worst thing because they're alloy. Because they're a dropper, you don't really need to take them out very often, unless the cable needs changing, so they can stay in for years and then they get stuck in. And also, my tool really struggles with droppers because it usually would just pull the top bit shaft out of the bottom one and leave the bottom one in place. So yeah, you want to avoid that. So there we go. Anyway, hope to see you soon. Just to follow on from that, if you need a seat post removing from a frame or a complete bike, as this one is, I charge between 80 and 100. Just depends how much work I have to do, really. This one, for instance, I had to take the bottom bracket out. I had to also kind of sort some sort of bar arrangement to go into the seat post, things like that. So the longer it takes, the more it's going to be. I guess if it was really long-winded, like taking the bottom brackets out, sometimes there's a job in itself. It could go over the 100, but on average between 80 to 100. If you need anything doing, obviously give me a shout. Kind of WhatsApp or email is best. Often I can't get to the phone because I'm on my own. So give us a shout. I also do normal repairs. So if you need any normal repairs doing, no matter how small, or service and work, give me a shout. I can get you sorted. Yeah. See you next time. Nice one.